I want to talk about debating. How many of us get into the debates of mortal mind? How many of us get into those places where we're back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, trying to decide what's right for us? And a lot of times we're oblivious to the fact that it's going on because it's so habitual. And we're weighing options in our thinking about what's real, about what's not real, or, like I said, oblivious. We don't even know we're doing it. And we're constantly pinging between two things: the real, the unreal, the real, the unreal. This conversation is really about sort of metaphysical mindset. What is your mindset? Are you intentionally moving towards that place in thought that is based in spirit and rejecting, out of hand, rejecting what the material senses are telling us? We really are in a position, because we understand, the Bible says, I will overturn it. This may be towards a different thing, but this is how I'm taking it. I will overturn it. We, based in the power of God, based in the power of spirit, utilizing the Christ, truth consciousness, illumined thought, can overturn the pleas, the testimonies, the evidence of mortal mind. Mortal mind tries to come in and say, I'm real. I have power. I can, wield my sword and slay you. We are the ones siding with God who have dominion. So we don't have to go back and forth in that sort of battleground of material sense and keep wondering, can we overtake this? Can we overturn that testimony of the material senses? Can we overturn it? Well, Mrs. Eddy puts it this way: the false evidence of material sense contrasts strikingly with the testimony of spirit. It does. Material sense lifts its voice with the arrogance of reality, and it goes into all of these things. Well, spirit bears the opposite testimony, and it tells you what is real, and it confirms what is true. And it is the opposite of sin, sickness, and death. It's the absolute opposite. So which side are we falling on? Which side are we arguing on? Which side are we letting into our thinking and kind of rolling over in thought, either oblivious of the fact that we're doing it, or getting into the battle because we're aware of it, but we're going back and forth? We are in a position of having the authority to make the commitment to spirit. One, you have the authority. Two, you got to make the commitment. If you're not committing to spirit as all, to truth as all, what are you waiting for? Why are you not committing? So look at that in thought and ask yourself, why am I diving into the false and playing around in that arena and going in and thinking about, well, where's this going to go? Where's this going to lead? What is it making me feel? Now, this is not to say, and I know this is true for a lot of us, this is not to say, oh, just ignore the fact that you're in incredible pain. No, this is not ignoring. This is not hiding your head in the sand. This is taking a very strong stance in the realm of what's true, because taking that stance takes the oomph out of the pain. It helps us recognize that the pain really does have no power. Does it seem very real and feel very painful at times? Yes. but know that that is coming from the material senses. It's not coming from truth. The pain is coming from the material sense of life, that false sense of life, that place where we believe that there's sensation in matter, power in material circumstance, power in identity in the physical material part of man, which is all false and all illusion. And we have quantum physics to back it up. Not only do we have spirit, you can take it like one notch down from God and say, even quantum physics backs this up. So even if you're not a religious person, it still is true. Quantum physics tells us it's all thought, it's all energy, it's all ideas. And without observation, it doesn't exist. So are we observing matter and calling it real? And then expecting a result from it, expecting some reaction from it, expecting some feeling from it? Doesn't have any feeling in and of itself. It's the thought. So we're not battling the matter, we're battling the belief. And when I say battle, what does that battle look like? That battle looks like committing to spirit. That's what the battle looks like. It doesn't look like, let's get into an argument. Let's debate it. So how do we know that we have the authority to overcome these thoughts and win? Well, you can look at the Saul-Paul story in the Bible. For years, he was completely against any thought of truth being the reality. It looked like him persecuting Christians. Like, no, there's no Christ, not doing it. No. How many times do we do that? Do we persecute the Christ truth in our thought? How many times are we going out and killing those thoughts and saying, no, I don't believe you. Come on, I'm in pain. Look, I have all this evidence over here. I'm in pain. This doesn't even work. What are we talking about? Do we do that? Do we take on that Saul mentality and persecute the truth? Persecute those ideas, go out and slay them. So the guarantee that we can get there is that Saul-Paul story, because there was a shift in thought. And as soon as there was a shift in thought, he completely changed the way he thought, the way he acted, what he did. Everything changed. Not only did he support Christ consciousness, truth ideas, he went out and preached them, became a minister. So ministering the word, ministering to people. So is that possible for us? Absolutely. We have the ability to shift thought and commit to what we know to be true. Mrs. Eddy says, knowing the falsity of so-called material sense, you can assert your prerogative to overcome the belief in sin, disease, and death. You can assert your prerogative. You can commit to that. When we on faith, even if it needs to be on faith, that's okay. When we on faith accept that spirit is the reality, just take it on faith. From all of the historical record, you can take it on faith that, yeah, this has been proven. There's been enough evidence of the real that I can just take it on faith. Even if I don't understand it at this point, I'm going to take it on faith. Most of the healings that you read in the Bible are people who had faith. Well, I mean, if you talk about Jesus' time, they just had faith that this guy heals people. So I need to see him. I need to just touch his robe. I need him to tell me I'm okay, and then I'm okay. They didn't necessarily understand it in that moment. So can we, in our humble hearts, turn to the truth and know that it is going to shift our reality, shift our present experience. It's a better way of saying that. Yeah, we do. We know that it's true. If men understood this is a quote, if men understood their real spiritual source to be all blessedness, they would struggle for recourse to the spiritual and be at peace. Are we struggling for recourse to the spiritual? Or do we keep struggling and debating to prove the erroneous sense of things is really what we're dealing with? Commit to the right side, commit to the spirit side, commit to the love side. God loves you, therefore the pain and the suffering can't be in God. Can't be if God is love. It cannot be and is not part of God and your expression, identity of love. You are love expressed. There can't be any pain in that. So struggling for recourse to the spiritual is the good struggle. And that is committing to what you know to be true and allowing that material sense of things to not even get your attention. Just like when they train the dolphins, or at least at that one place that I went where they were training the dolphins. I think most of you have heard this before. The trainer told us the way they train them, when they're doing it wrong, they turn their backs on them. They don't even give them attention. They don't even look at them. And when they're doing it right, they turn around and give them attention and look at them and praise them and feed them little fish and do whatever they feed them. I don't know. Give them little treats. And they have that experience of love and affection and attention because it's re-engaging them to want that. Well, are we doing that for ourselves? Are we engaging with spirit, engaging with the right ideas, engaging with that? Or are we spending a lot of attention with the wrong ideas, the erroneous ideas, the illusion of sense, and giving that, battling with it? Material sense just would love for you to battle all day long. Are you kidding? Give me more attention. Argue with me, battle with me. If you find yourself battling with mortal mind, turn your back on it. Like seriously turn your back on it mentally. And look to the story of Paul. Look to that story and go, okay, there's somebody who did a complete 180. Well, is it possible for your thought to do a complete 180 from believing in matter to truly understanding the spiritual nature of your being and relying on spirit as solid and committing to that, like really committing to that? It's like in Revelation where it talks about the dragon, like casting out the dragon. The dragon can seem like it's roaring and has claws and breathing fire. And our experience can reflect that at times. It can feel very disruptive. We have the authority to cast out the dragon because that is the dream. It just goes from, it goes from the little snake, the little serpent in Genesis to the dragon in Revelation. It's grown into a larger serpent. Still a dragon, still a serpent, still a lie. Still a lie. No matter how big and puffy and fire breathing it gets, it's still a lie. And when we are at that point, make the commitment, like really commit. You're committing to that place in thought that is willing to stand firmly in spirit and claim for yourself only what is true. Do not claim for yourself or claim something as yourself That is a lie. Be your own best advocate and side with God. Don't side with the devil, the dragon. Like, cast the dragon out. So Revelation also says, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our God and the power of his Christ. The power of Christ's truth to slay the dragon. We have that available to us. That big old sword, that Christ sword of truth, guarding and guiding, gleaming afar, we can wield that sword and slay the dragon. We don't have to do this on our own. You're not by yourself. Like, it's not the little ego that's being requested to fight this fight and go out and slay the dragon. No. As a reflection of God, the purity of your identity is an automatic shield. It's an automatic immunity to any dragon breath. You know, have you ever been around somebody with really, 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 well, halitosis is a better way of saying it. I'm going to tell you a little funny story. So the minister who married us, I should probably not, well, this isn't going to be public. Well, maybe this is a little bit public. Anyway, let's say a minister was marrying a couple and had an issue that he had not healed. And it was very challenging. And every time he would say anything in the midst of the ceremony, we were moving a little bit farther away. It was sort of, it was kind of reminds me of the Mawedge. You know that scene in, it's not Monty Python. Anyway, it's a scene in a movie. I digress. So the breath of the dragon, consider it really bad breath. And you don't want to be anywhere near it. So guess what? The Christ shields you from that really horrible breath of the dragon. You don't want to be near it. You want to turn away from it and go, please, no, cast the dragon out. It's really bad breath. Like, have a sense of humor about it. Take on that spirit of lightness like we talked about the other day, and really jump into that place of, I got this. Why do I got this? Because God's got this, and I am the reflection of God. I got this. The Christ is here. What does it say? It says, and the power of the Christ. Very powerful. So Christ does come to destroy the belief, and is very present and available to destroy the belief. So the belief, that thought that is trying to tempt you as your thought, is the thing that is getting cast out. It's not a real thing. It's a belief in a power apart from God. That's what's getting cast out. Okay, let's bring it in. So coming out of this today, make the commitment, that the God principle, the law, the spiritual law we're talking about here is omnipresent, omniactive, all powerful. God is everywhere. Nothing apart from him is present or has power. Nothing. Not even dragon breath. Okay. So those of you visiting, those of you who are not on the invoice system, go to lisataylorcs.com, sign up for November, because Monday is the beginning of November. Can you believe it? Monday is the beginning of November. That's like, where did this year go? This is 2021. It's not 2020. It's 2021. And we're going into November. Like, how is that even possible? I don't even know. So, tomorrow is Friday. And a lot of times, if you're a visitor, a lot of times we stay a little longer and we have a little Q&A, and it's really fun. So just bring, let's have it be a little casual tomorrow. Let's talk a little bit, get to know each other a little bit, and I always say bring questions, but bring ideas you want to talk about. Maybe that's a better way of saying it, because a lot of you don't have questions. So just bring ideas you want to talk about. Maybe there's subjects that we want to address in here that we haven't really addressed. I'm always game for that. So let me know. All right. And if you are, I don't think there are any VIPs who didn't schedule their private, but if I can check, but if you are a VIP and you didn't schedule your private, hop on it, because there are only 2 days left. Okay. Love you guys. See you tomorrow.